up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Myanmar help a girl rekindle her passion for learning. We take a look at Taiwan's growing obesity problem and how it affects our health and quality of life. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Anita Lee. It's good to have you with us. 6 years ago in Myanmar, Tzu Chi volunteers reached out to a young girl, Ai, the victim of a horrible fire. Unfortunately, things did not go well for the young girl after she entered middle school, so she decided to drop out. We now see how Tzu Chi volunteers got her to change her mind and open her eyes to a whole new world.
In this old video footage, Tzu Chi care recipient Ai of Myanmar is seen happily going to school. But in 2014, her education was suddenly interrupted.
She couldn't make any friends in middle school, and when she skipped a class because she couldn't arrive on time, no one was willing to lend her their notes, so she couldn't keep up in class.
Ai, who survived the fire 6 years ago, is now 15 years old. Due to the chores at home, she was often late to school and reprimanded by her teachers. She was also ridiculed for her scars by her classmates. Unable to deal with it all, Ai decided to drop out. But what Tzu Chi volunteers have shown her has opened up her eyes.
Seeing how everyone here works so hard to study makes me want to study too. I now regret dropping out of school. I have wasted all that time. When others were studying in school, I was doing nothing.
To inspire the young girl, volunteers took Ai along their visit to schools for the visually impaired and handicapped, and also the homes of Tzu Chi scholarship recipients. Seeing how some poor students are determined to attend college, Ai also made a similar vow.
I promised to be an obedient, cultured and hardworking daughter. I want to become a teacher in the future so I may care for my grandmother. I will also try to pass on the love I have received from my DaAi mothers to my students in the future.
As Ai will have to wait for a year before she can go back to school, she now stays with a Tzu Chi volunteer in Yangon. Every day, she reports to the local Tzu Chi office, where volunteers and teachers take turns to give her private lessons. Under such loving care, Ai has grown mature and polite, and looks forward to the day she goes back to school.
In August of last year, heavy monsoon rains caused severe flooding in parts of southern Myanmar. While carrying out disaster relief in the region, Tzu Chi volunteers came across a boy who suffered congenital heart disease and was in desperate need of surgery. With the assistance of Tzu Chi, the boy received free surgery at the Yangon Children's Hospital, and now he is ready to start his new journey. Last August, a desperate mother came to Tzu Chi's free clinic, begging doctors to save her son's life.
The boy suffered extensive damage to his heart. Although he can still move about now, if he doesn't receive treatment soon, he may lose his mobility forever.
Nyankel suffered from congenital heart disease. However, due to poverty, the boy's condition was left untreated for many years. When Tzu Chi volunteers learned of the family's situation, they arranged for Nyankel to undergo surgery at Yangon Children's Hospital.
Without surgery, the doctor told me he wouldn't make it past 15 years old. If the surgery is successful, I will be very happy, of course. But I won't blame anyone if it fails either.
The 5-hour-long surgery ended in success.
Had we known about the opportunity to receive free surgery, perhaps the children in our village won't have to die due to illness.
After 2.5 weeks of recuperation in the hospital, Nyankel is now ready to go home. Volunteers organized a small welcome home party to celebrate Nyankel's return and the beginning of a new journey. Taipei City has the largest concentration of homeless in Taiwan, who tend to take up shelter around Taipei railway station. Currently, there are some 680 homeless in the city, and that number continues to grow year after year. However, to reintegrate the homeless into mainstream society, social welfare organizations believe that the government should be doing more to rehabilitate these people and connect them to job opportunities. Late at night, an incessant stream of visitors lingers outside the Taipei railway station. They are not travelers, but the homeless who have come to take up shelter outside the station. According to statistics, there are some 680 people homeless in Taipei, with the number on the rise every year. Homelessness, however, is a social phenomenon that can be traced back to the Qing dynasty.
During the Qing dynasty, restrictions on Chinese residents migrating to Taiwan stipulated that migrants had to be single. They were known as luo han ka. Gradually, due to the nature of their work, many of these people ended up sleeping on the streets. We call these vagrants luo han ka as well.
Although social welfare organizations have long tried to reduce and tackle the problem of homelessness, the number of homeless people just keeps growing. What is the solution here?
There is a homeless shelter in Taipei City, and it provides close to 100 beds.
Taking a walk inside the Taipei City homeless shelter, the two-story structure is separated into two wings. 6 to 10 people share a room, and a separate room is available for female residents. The central foyer is where all the recreational activities and dining takes place.
We shouldn't place them in one big shelter collectively, like we have done in the past. We should establish smaller communal apartments, like in Japan, a place they can temporarily stay until they have their lives back on track.
Many social welfare groups in Taiwan have been working to reintegrate the homeless back into society and help them get out of the cycle of poverty. However, social welfare organizations also believe the government needs to do more to seek a solution and tackle the problem of homelessness once and for all. The world is troubled by growing obesity rates, and that includes Taiwan. According to the country's Ministry of Health and Welfare, some 7 million people in Taiwan are overweight, and obesity-related diseases cost the nation's health insurance at least $1.56 billion a year. In today's new series, we learn more about the obesity problem in Taiwan.
Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, is a modern metropolis. Some 7 million people work here in search of wealth and fame. The city's abundant food stands are where the working class dine during lunchtime.
第一家自己这样绕一圈就好了，就看到什么就吃什么这样子啊。基本上大部分在外面应该都还蛮油腻的。
About 70% of the Taiwan population eats out of convenience. However, this also means an average daily calorie intake of at least 2,800 kilocalories. As citizens become more focused on the task they have to finish, they pay less attention to the food they eat.
Many people don't even know what they're putting into their mouths. Something as simple as fried rice is easily some 800 kilocalories.
Chinese cooking tends to use more oil compared to Japanese and Korean, which is the main factor.
Also, Western fast food chains are also popular. Thus, Taiwanese waistlines have continued to increase.
In Taiwan, about 30 to 40% of the population has a BMI that exceeds the normal parameters of 22.5 to 26.
According to the country's health ministry, 4 out of 10 Taiwanese are obese. 1 out of every 2 men, or 3 women, or 4 children is overweight. This means there are some 7 million oversized people in Taiwan, the most in Asia, which poses a serious burden to the country's healthcare system.
Diabetes and lipid disorders are all related to the accumulated fat around our stomachs.
The top 5 leading causes of death in Taiwan, which are cancer, heart disease, cerebral vascular disease, pneumonia, and diabetes, are almost all related to obesity. And to treat the problem costs the national health insurance some $1.56 billion a year.
Obesity, war, and smoking are the 3 leading causes of human death. Life expectancy in many countries has been dropping because of obesity.
The problem of obesity is also a region related due to the imbalance of economic development between urban and rural areas.
Hsinchu and Taipei have the most thin people. Those working at the Hsinchu Science Park and the white-collar workers of Taipei are the thinnest.
An obesity map of Taiwan put together by the Ministry of Health and Welfare shows the level of obesity according to region, with southern and eastern Taiwan having the most overweight people.
As most of the indigenous population lives along the East Coast, the area has a higher population of the obese compared to the West. Indigenous people tend to have more free time to enjoy their meals, so their calorie intake tends to be higher. We pay a heavy price in dealing with obesity. If you're taking all the hidden factors, the cost is simply too high. The poor get overweight and then get sick. It's a vicious cycle.
Obesity is the result of the imbalance in our life and diet. People need to reevaluate what eating means to them and curb overindulgence. Otherwise, their health will be sacrificed in their pursuit for success.
Tzu Chi volunteers from the south of Taiwan hosted events filled with vegetarian cuisines to celebrate the Chinese New Year, while hoping to recruit more like-minded people to go meatless. Later, we joined Tzu Chi volunteers in Fengshan on a tour of Vietnamese food. First, let's take a look at how Tzu Chi volunteers turn well-known Tainan snacks into vegetarian versions.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Tainan gathered to host a Chinese New Year celebration, inviting the general public to join them on a vegetarian feast.
They haven't tasted vegetarian snacks before, so I thought to invite my family.
Volunteers pitched in to make their signature vegetarian dish to help celebrate and to attract more people to join.
A Tzu Chi University Continuing Education Center class also joined the event by performing a dance filled with Dharma.
We are here to spread the Buddhist spirit. We want everyone to have a heart like the Enlightened One and be compassionate towards those they meet in life.
The soothing melody relaxes the spirit of the audience members, and in these moments, hearts are slowly free of worries. Meanwhile, at the Fengshan Jingsi Hall in Kaohsiung, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers who are also Vietnamese immigrants are preparing traditional Vietnamese dishes to celebrate the lunar holidays.
Rice noodles, green beans, and coconut meat are used to make a vegetarian takoyaki. The roundness represents the coming together of the new year.
Besides vegetarian takoyaki, Vietnamese noodle soup and Vietnamese sandwiches are other dishes that give those who live in this foreign country a taste of home during this festive time.
We thought to make food from our homeland so that those who just recently moved here can get some home cooking.
Alleviating homesickness, these immigrants make the best of the situation by bringing a bit of Vietnam to Taiwan.
We now take you to the year-end celebrations in Penang, Malaysia. Tzu Chi Foundation staff members were honored at a year-end blessing ceremony, while students from the after-school care program served as guides to show their parents how much they have grown.
The year-end blessing ceremony in Tzu Chi's Penang Jingsi Hall, a group of students act as guides to help make the Dharma easier to understand.
There are 3 forms of giving. The first is monetary donation, the second is sharing the Dharma, and the third is helping put minds at ease.
To ensure success, the students study the guide made by their teachers and rehearse. Now, Chao Ju-mei can give a tour in both Chinese and English for the sake of her family.
In
I want to do good deeds with my family, and to do that, I will practice the 6 parameters alongside the Tzu Chi volunteers.
She has shared a lot and became a more well-rounded person thanks to the education she has received in the Dharma. We are very proud of her.
Meanwhile, at a year-end blessing ceremony for local Tzu Chi staff members, volunteers thanked them for their efforts over the past year.
The medical staff have been busy helping realize the new dialysis center. Though it was a joyous achievement, we ached over the extra effort.
Why do we provide classes during the weekend? It is for the betterment of our children. I hope they can receive the best education possible.
Ye Chijing, who was responsible for introducing Tzu Chi to Malaysia, is grateful for everyone's efforts in carrying out Tzu Chi's missions.
Volunteers can charge forward with nothing to worry about. As we know, we will always find the support we need anywhere, anytime.
With staff members and volunteers working in unity, Tzu Chi's work shall continue to flourish in Malaysia.
Staying in Penang, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers have been putting together components of prefab homes for victims of the recent flood. During Lunar New Year, the work continued uninterrupted, as volunteers hope those in Kelantan may enjoy a proper shelter as soon as possible.
During the Lunar New Year celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers in Penang, Malaysia, continue to devote their time to help the less fortunate.
Our work will not be interrupted because of Chinese New Year. We will try to wrap up here by the 23rd or 24th, because the flood victims are still suffering and cannot wait for the holidays to be over.
In response to the heavy flooding in the eastern Malaysian peninsula last December, Tzu Chi will be building prefab homes in Kelantan. The assembling of the homes has continued uninterrupted despite Lunar New Year.
When designing the prefab homes, we take simplicity, safety, and environment into consideration. As a result, our prefab homes can be easily assembled without welding.
The prefabs will house the flood victims until permanent homes are completed, and thus it is important that they will be able to be reused. Putting in 10 hours a day, volunteers hope to achieve their goal as quickly as possible.
Next, we meet Tzu Chi care recipient Deng Ai Li, a single mother paralyzed from the waist down. Due to her disability, Deng has trouble making ends meet. Not to mention, cleaning up around her home is also a challenge. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers recently visited the family to give their home a makeover.
In Kedah, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers have come to help with the cleaning of this cluttered home. The homeowner Deng Ai Li was treated for spinal disc displacement last year. However, after her surgery, she remains paralyzed from the waist down.
I am unable to move from the waist down, neither can I move my toes, so I can only sleep with both my legs laid out flat.
To lighten the heavy burden on the single mother, the volunteers give the home a thorough cleaning from top to bottom.
As I had suffered from depression once and was suicidal, I learned that we really need to care for one another, especially when others are down and out.
Tzu Chi volunteers are really nice to me. I promised myself that I will join Tzu Chi after recovering.
Ali's 6-year-old son reciprocates his mother's love by helping her with her rehabilitation. Tzu Chi volunteers also pass on the spirit of daily acts of kindness through contributing to bamboo coin banks in the home. Thanks to the volunteers, the family has found strength and courage to live by.
Tzu Chi volunteer带安容of Malaysia, although in her 70s, still actively participates in Tzu Chi's missions. Together with 3 other volunteers, they work together to promote Jingsi publications at the Penang Adventist Hospital. We now learn how her determination has inspired many others.
The Jingsi publication booth inside the Penang Adventist Hospital is where DaAi Headlines volunteers once a week.
As sales are not the top priority, what is important is that we should promote environmental awareness and the benefits of recycling.
The septuagenarian has been a devoted volunteer since receiving her certification in Taiwan in 2011. She keeps what Master Zheng Yan says to her close to heart.
The master told us that this is but the beginning of our mission.
DaAi also invited another 3 volunteers to help. Even though the 4 of them have a combined age of more than 200 years, their compassion has not diminished with age.
I'm happy because we get along. Anrong always takes good care of us. She is 2.5 years older than me, so she is like my older sister.
The team is like a family and knows to seize every moment to give while they are still able.
When I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia, hyperlipidemia, and hypertension, I was often at the hospital. That's why I need to seize every moment.
Seizing every chance to give, DaAi Headlines has brought new meanings and joy to her life.
Prior to the start of the Chinese New Year holidays, medical staff of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital and Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Miaoli District to ensure the dental needs of the underprivileged are taken care of. Meanwhile, a team of medical personnel also held a free clinic in the area.
In Taiwan's remote mountain region of Miaoli, doctors and volunteers have arrived to host a free clinic. Doctors remind seniors that they mustn't forget to take their medication and also stick to a light diet during the holidays.
The medicine to lower blood pressure is very harmful for your stomach lining. Don't take it on an empty stomach. They told me to take it after lunch, and I listened.
Doctors and volunteers are here to check on these seniors' health amid the busy holiday season. TIMA members also visited the Miaoli branch of the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation to provide teeth scaling services. While dentists clean the patient's teeth, volunteers help to soothe the patient's anxiety.
Every one of our residents' teeth are the cleanest and whitest they can be. They don't have bad breath, and gum bleeding has been drastically reduced as well.
Director Chen is very glad that TIMA doctors and volunteers came to help her home residents start the Lunar New Year off right.
To share the joys of the Chinese New Year with others, students and teachers of Tainan Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Taiwan visited community residents to deliver their well wishes and offer New Year's greetings. We leave you with these images at the end of today's program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.